Chapter 6. It came about on the next Sabbath, while he was passing through the grain fields, that his disciples plucked the ears of grain and were eating, rubbing them in their hands. But some of the Pharisees said to them, "Why are you doing that which is not lawful to do on the Sabbaths?" And Jesus replied to them and said, "Have you not read what David did when he was hungry, and those who were with him? How he went into the house of God and took the bread of the presence and ate, and gave to those who were with him, which was not lawful to eat except for the priests only. And he said to them, The Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." And it came about on another Sabbath that he again went into a synagogue and taught. And there was a man whose right hand was paralyzed. And the scribes and Pharisees watched him to see whether he would heal on the Sabbath, that they might find an accusation against him. But he knew their thoughts, and said to the man who had the paralyzed hand, "Arise, and stand in the midst." And he got up and stood. And Jesus said to them, "I have a question for you. Is it lawful to do good or to do evil on the Sabbath, to save life or destroy it?" And looking around at them all, he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And he did so, and it was restored and made whole like the other. But they were filled with madness, and consulted with one another what they might do to Jesus. And it came about in those days that he went out into a mountain to pray, and spent the night in prayer to God. And when the day had come, he called his disciples, and he chose from them 12, whom he also called apostles: Simon, whom he named Peter, and Andrew his brother, James and John, Philip and Bartholomew, Matthew and Thomas, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon called Zealot, and Judas of James, and Judas Iscariot, who also became a betrayer. And he came down with them, and stood on a level place, and a crowd of his disciples, and a great multitude of people from all of Judea and Jerusalem, and the sea coasts of Tyre and Sidon, who came to hear him and to be healed of their diseases. And those tormented by unclean spirits were also healed. And the whole crowd was trying to touch him, because power came out of him and healed them all. And he lifted up his eyes upon the disciples and said, "Blessed are the poor, for yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are the hungry, for you shall be filled. Blessed are you who weep, for you shall laugh. Blessed are you when men shall hate you, and shall cut you off and reproach you, and cast out your name as wicked because of the Son of Man. Rejoice on that day, and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. After this manner did their fathers to the prophets. But woe to you that are rich, for you are receiving your comfort. Woe to you who have been filled, for you shall hunger. Woe to you who laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. Woe to you when all men speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. But I say to you who hear, love your enemies, do well to them who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who spitefully use you. To him who strikes you on the cheek, also offer the other, and to him who takes away your coat, also do not hold back your shirt. Give to everyone that asks of you, and the one who takes what is yours, don't ask for it back. And as you desire men should do to you, do also to them likewise. If you love those who love you, what praise is it to you? For sinners love those who love them. And if you do right to them who do right to you, what praise is it to you? For sinners do the same. And if you lend to those of whom you expect to receive, what praise is it to you? For sinners lend to sinners, that they may receive the equivalent. But you shall love your enemies. Do right and lend, expecting nothing again. And your reward shall be great, and you shall be the sons of the highest. For he is kind to the unthankful and the wicked. Therefore be compassionate, as your Father is compassionate. And do not judge, and you shall not be judged. Do not condemn, and you shall not be condemned. Pardon, and you shall be pardoned. Give, and good measure will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, they will give into your bosom. For the same measure that you measure will be measured back to you. And he spoke a parable to them. Can the blind lead the blind? Will they not both fall into a ditch? The disciple is not above his teacher, but every one shall be perfected as his teacher. But why do you look at the mote in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the beam that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, Brother, let me pull the mote out that is in your eye, when you do not perceive the beam that is in your own eye? Hypocrite! Cast the beam out of your own eye first, then you shall see clearly to pull out the mote out of your brother's eye. For a good tree does not bring forth evil fruit, nor does an evil tree bring forth good fruit. For every tree is known by its fruit. For no one gathers figs from thorns, nor gathers grapes from a thorn bush. The good man, out of the good treasure of his heart, brings forth that which is good. And the wicked man, out of the wicked treasure of his heart, brings forth that which is wicked. For out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks. And why do you call me Lord, Lord, but do not what I say? Whoever comes to me and hears my words and does them, I will show you to whom he is like. He is like a man who built a house and dug deep, and laid the foundation on a rock. And the waters rose, and the streams burst against the house, but could not move it, for it was established upon the rock. But he that hears and does nothing is like a man that built a house on the earth without a foundation, on which the stream burst against, and the house collapsed, and the fall of that house was great.